Hi everybody. Today let's talk about lesson 6, random numbers. So our question of the day for this one is, how can we make our programs behave differently each time they are run? So you're going to get introduced to this random number block that's down here under new code. So let's get started. All right, so in bubble number 2, what they're showing us here is that we have a new block in the math drawer called random number. If you make your drawings with random numbers, it'll look a little bit different every time we hit run on the program. So you can learn about the block by hovering over it in the toolbox and choosing See Examples. So what they're showing you here basically is this hover option. And this works on any of the blocks in the toolbox. So if I hover, it's going to give me this blue pop-up window, and then it's going to allow me to click See Examples. So if you ever get stuck or you're not quite sure what a block does, go ahead and hit that See Examples button and learn more. So here's what we have to do to solve bubble number 2. We're going to run the program several times to see how it works. Then we're going to change the numbers inside the random number and run the code again to see what happens. So first I'm going to hit run. Okay, we got a basic orange circle on kind of this orangey red background. Reset and run. All right, so the circle moved. Reset and run. Circle moved again. Circle moved again. Circle moved again. And circle moved again. So what we notice here is that the circle is moving in a horizontal pattern back and forth in a random direction. If I look over here at my workspace, the first line of code I have is background tomato. Okay. Second line is just a space. Don't freak out. Third line is fill color orange. And then the fourth line says ellipse. So we have a random number between 0 and 400 in the spot where the x coordinate should be. So we are saying with this random number block that the x coordinate is going to be random every time, any number between 0 and 400. Then our y block is 200, or not block, our y coordinate. Our width is 50 and our height is 50. So it said to play around with this. So I'm going to change these numbers. I'm going to go 200 to 400. Just leave 400 there. So reset and run and see what happens. Try not to click too fast so it doesn't mess up the video. So what I see here is that now the orange circle is only appearing on the right side of my screen. Remember, the very center of our screen is 200, 200. So what I've done essentially is I've confined this circle movement into this particular area. It can't show up anywhere but in this area along this y-axis. Why? Well, because the y is stationary. The y is only 200. The random number belongs to the x coordinate. So let's hit finish and see what we've got next. All right, so here's the same sun from the last time. Right now, only the x coordinate is random, but this time we can make the y coordinate random too. So here's what we have to do. Do this. Use the random number for the ellipse's y parameter so that the circle is drawn in a random y position too. As long as your circle is appearing in a random x and y, you can move on. Okay, so remember, this random number block currently is in the x coordinate position. I now need to get one to put in the y coordinate position. So I'm going to click the math drawer. I'm going to grab this random number, dragging it over. Remember, wherever it's highlighted yellow is where this block's going to go. Whoops. So I wait until it's in the y coordinate spot and I let go. And I messed that up because I right-clicked instead of left-clicked. Let's do it again. There it goes. Okay, so now random number 1 to 10. I'm going to change it to match the random x variables. So I'm going to put 0, then I'm going to put 400. So this way, this sun is going to show up anywhere on the screen. It's got full range of the x value and full range of the y value. So once your sun does this, you can click finish and move to the next puzzle. Okay? don't forget, you can always pause, finish the puzzle, and then hit play again when you're ready. All right, so these variables can be assigned random number too. So this lets you save a single random value so that you can use it as many times as you want in a program. Here's what we have to do. Assign a random number to the variable I size so that the I's automatically change every time you run the program. Remember, the left and right I's should always match each other even though they're changing size. So take a look at the picture over here, okay? So every time they hit reset and run, the eye size of the smiley face changes, but both eyes always match. That's super, super important. Now, notice this little show me how toggle here. I can actually click on that and it's going to show me what my variable needs to look like. Variable eye size equals random number 10 to 50. So what are they talking about? Well, they're talking about line 1 right here. So our line 1 variable eye size has been used for lines 12 and 13, which makes sense. Those are the eyes of the smiley face. Okay, but I want this 27 to be a random number. So I'm going to go to the math drawer. I'm going to grab a random number, drag it over. I'm going to place it in the 27 spot. And then according to my show me how, they're looking at the value 10 to 50. So 10 to 50, if you happen to go smaller or bigger, that's quite all right. What I am looking for is this random number in the variable. So reset and run a few times. And I have successfully completed this part of the project. So I'm going to go ahead and hit finish and continue. All right, for level number 5, we're going to change variable values. So these two flowers use a single variable to store their petal size, but the value stored in the variable changes in the middle of the program. Do this. Run the program several times to see how it works. We're going to discuss it with ourselves, and then we're going to change the program so that the flowers have random petal sizes in the image. So I'm going to hit run. Okay, so I got small petals, bigger petals, reset and run. Got small petals, bigger petals, reset and run. Okay, so it looks like the petal sizes aren't changing, but according to my directions, they want the petal sizes to change. So let's see what the programming looks like here. So line 1 creates the variable petal size. Line 4 sets the petal size for the first flower at 30. And line 15 sets the petal size for the second flower at 60. What they want is random petal sizes for both flowers. So I'm going to click the math drawer. Again, I'm going to pull this random number block over. Wherever it's yellow is where it's going to drop, so I got to get it in the right spot. I want it right there. So it says petal size gets random number. Now, random number what? Well, let's say random number anywhere from 20 to 70. Does it matter what numbers you put in there? Nah, not really. I mean, I wouldn't put 1 because that's going to be a really weird looking flower, but I'm not going to, take points if you do put 1. All right, so another random number block down to line 15. Remember, wait till that 60 turns yellow, then let go. All right, so once again, I'm going to put the same values in here, 20 to 70. So if you pick 30 to 75, if you just did 30 to 60, all of that is perfectly fine. All right, so now I'm going to hit this this run and reset a few times just to see what's happening with my program. All right, so I got 2 flowers. They each get a random petal size every time I hit reset and run. So I am satisfied that I have completed the do this portion. Therefore, I'm going to hit finish. All right, so on this lesson, this is a practice lesson. Feel free to do both if you choose. Otherwise, only choose one. Totally up to you. Your prerogative doesn't matter to me. They're both going to be working with, you guessed it, random numbers. So I'm going to hit debug the program, letter B. Letter B. You are, however, free to choose letter A if you wish. All right, so here's what happens. Right now, the program, each triangle has its own random position. Can you make it so that the rectangles, I said triangles, whoops, rectangles are always stacked up on top of each other, but the entire stack is randomly positioned? So, taking a look at this picture over here, they want the entire block to move around, but they want the rectangles to stay together as if they're one solid piece. So we're going to run the program to see how it works. Oh, yeah, that's not good. Okay, so each rectangle is behaving on its own as if it's not connected. Okay, so here's what we got to do. Let's take a look. We got a variable x position gets a random number 0 to 50, 150. We got a fill color pink, so that is the rectangle, pink rectangle, and it's using the variable x position. But then look what they did for the purple rectangle. So purple rectangle, instead of using the variable, they gave it its own random number generator. So we're going to get rid of that in line 5. And instead, we're going to type our label in here, our variable label, x position. And by the way, if you're on your iPad and you're finding that like labeling is difficult, you can always change the variable label. You can change it to just x, and it will work. Okay? Just make sure that you use that variable label in each one of your blocks, and it will work. You can say anything: cheese, high, pink, it doesn't matter. All right, so then I'm going to look at, I just fixed line 5. I gave it a variable x position. Now I'm going to fix line 7, the fire brick red rectangle. I'm going to get rid of that random number block. And again, in the x position, I'm going to put the label for the variable, because I wanted to use that same variable every time. So therefore, what this is saying is anytime this line 1 variable x position gets random number, whatever random number it picks, all 3 of them are going to get the same random number. So let me show you. Reset, run. There it is. Reset, run again. Oh, it moved. Turn my grid on so you can see a little bit better as it moves. Okay, so now, no matter where it shows up, they're all stuck together. And that satisfies this puzzle. Go ahead and hit pause if you need to. Otherwise, I'm hitting finish. Continue. I'm going to hit finish again. You are more than welcome to do letter A. Totally up to you. All right, so level 7 is an assessment level. So here's what needs to happen in your assessment level. You need to run the program several times to see how the starter code works. You need at least 3 new different colored circles in your rainbow snake. And use the random number to make the rest of the snake's body move up and down like the first 3. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and given you one of your 3 required circles. So you really, at this point, only need to add 2 more. Hold just a second. All right, I'm back. So let's take a look at what I've given you here. Reset and run, reset and run, reset and run. So the snake's body undulates up and down. So up and down, according to our coordinate plane, will be the y variable, the y coordinate, okay? So line 1 is our background. Line 2 is our red fill. So that means line 3 is our red circle. Notice it's got 100 set for the x, random number, 190 to 210 set for the y, and then the width and height is 50-50. Next line is orange. So line 5 is the orange circle. Notice that the orange circle's x value is 140. So it went from 100 to 140. The random number variable values are the same width and height. Line 6 is yellow. Line 7 is the circle for yellow. Notice that the x position here is 180. So think about this pattern here. It went from 100 to 140 to 180. Random number value still the same, width and height still the same. Last, I've given you the green block. So for the green block, all you've got to do is copy what you see here. So we've got fill green, ellipse, 220. So let's look at the x values one more time. The x values go from 100 to 140 to 180 to 220. See if you can figure out the pattern. Y variables are the same, 190 to 210, width and height are the same. So it is your job then to add 2 more circles to this rainbow snake of any varying color. They chose blue and purple. You can do pink and light blue. I don't care what color. Just 2 more. You got to add 2 more. And remember, this level counts as half of your grade. Half of the grade for the lesson. I'm going to hit finish because that's all the help I'm going to give you for this. And let's take a look at the challenge level real quick before we end the video. All right, challenge level. Once again, choose any one of these you want. Totally up to you. I'm going to pick letter C. Again, could be any level, doesn't matter. Totally your prerogative. I think I've done level C before, so let's see what I got. All right, so this says sometimes you want to randomize parts of a drawing but still have the shapes work together. You can often do this by using variables and math operations like plus, minus, times, or divide. This tree drawing uses height to control the height of the trunk and vertical position of the leaves. It uses width to set the width of the trunk. A different leaves width variable controls the size of the leaves. Do this. Notice the ranges of the variables width and leaf width. How are they different? Run the program repeatedly until you notice that something is wrong. Then what is wrong? And then edit the code so that the width of the leaves is always exactly double the width of the tree trunk. So reset and run, reset and run, reset and run. Whoa, that looks weird. Reset and run. That looks better. Reset and run. Reset and run. Reset and run. Okay, so most of the time it looks like a tree. Every now and then it looks a little weird. So I'm going to look at variable height, width, and leaf width. So leaf width is a random number, 20 to 200. Variable width is a random number, 100 to 10 to 100. Draw the grass and the trees, draw the trunk. The trunk is 200, width divided by 2, height divided by 3, ellipse 350 minus height. Okay, so I want the width and the leaf width to always be in some type of relationship. Sometimes leaf width is less than the width, which makes the ellipse too small. Okay, so I got to do something right here. I got to take this out. And so what I need then from the math drawer, I'm going to put this in. And so what I need to say is, so my leaf width is always going to be my variable width times 2. Where did I pull that from? I pulled that from here. Edit the code so that the width of the leaves is always exactly double the width of the tree trunk. Okay, so let's see if that works. Reset and run. Reset and run. Reset and run. Okay. I think that fixed it, folks. I think that fixed it. Notice how I thought about it first. I read through, I discovered what the program was doing first. Then I thought about how I was going to fix the program so that it satisfied the objectives. All right. So with that, that's the end of lesson 6. Pretty straightforward. Random numbers are super cool and you're going to use them a lot. Hope you had fun with this level and I will catch you later.